Imagine a city so magnificent, it was called the Pearl of the East, a place where poets, scientists, and merchants from across the world gathered. This wasn't a mythical city like Atlantis. This was Samarkand, a real gem sparkling in the heart of Central Asia. For centuries, Samarkand wasn't just a city. It was an epicenter of knowledge, culture, and commerce, a shining star on the legendary Silk Road. So how did this desert oasis transform into a global hub for science, astronomy, and Islamic learning? Let's journey back in time and uncover the secrets of Samarkand. Our story begins with its strategic location. Samarkand was perfectly placed on the Silk Road, the ancient network of trade routes connecting the East and West. This wasn't just a highway for silk and spices. It was an information superhighway of its time. Ideas, philosophies, technologies, and beliefs traveled along with the caravans. Merchants from China, India, Persia, and Europe didn't just trade goods, they exchanged knowledge. This constant flow of new ideas created a melting pot of cultures, making Samarkand one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. It was this vibrant multicultural environment that laid the foundation for a golden age of intellectual curiosity and discovery. But a city needs more than just a good location. It needs a visionary leader. Samarkand found its champion in the 14th century with the rise of Timur, also known as Tamerlane. Although often remembered for his military conquests, Timur was also a grand patron of the arts and sciences. He envisioned Samarkand as the capital of the world, a city of unparalleled beauty and intellect. He brought the most skilled artisans, architects, and scholars from every corner of his vast empire back to Samarkand. Under his rule, the city was reborn. Majestic mosques, madrasas, and mausoleums with their iconic blue domes began to fill the skyline. The Registan Square, the heart of ancient Samarkand, began its transformation into the stunning architectural ensemble we admire today. Timur's ambition wasn't just to build a beautiful city. He aimed to create a powerhouse of Islamic civilization and learning. This intellectual flame was fanned even brighter by Timur's grandson, Ulugh. While his grandfather was a conqueror, Ulugh was a scholar, an astronomer, king. His passion wasn't for the battlefield, it was for the stars. In the 1420s, Ulugh built an astronomical observatory in Samarkand that was simply out of this world for its time. This wasn't just a small tower with a telescope. The Ulugh Observatory was a massive, three-story scientific institution. Its most impressive feature was a gigantic marble sextant, an instrument used to measure the angle of celestial bodies, known as the Fakri sextant. It had a radius of about 40 meters, making it the largest of its kind ever built. This incredible tool allowed Ulugh and his team of about 70 scientists to make astronomical observations with unprecedented accuracy. What did they discover with this amazing instrument? They created the Zegi Sultani, a star catalog that was the most comprehensive and accurate of its era. It documented the precise positions of over 1,000 stars. It was so accurate that it was still being referenced and used by European astronomers centuries later. Ulugh's calculations for the length of the stellar year were astonishingly close to modern measurements. He calculated it to be 365 days, 6 hours, 10 minutes, and 8 seconds, just about a minute longer than our modern calculation. He also calculated the Earth's axial tilt with remarkable precision. The observatory in Samarkand was more than just a building. It was a testament to a scientific spirit that valued empirical observation and mathematical rigor. But astronomy wasn't the only science flourishing. Samarkand became a magnet for mathematicians. The intellectual environment fostered by Ulugh attracted brilliant minds. One of the most prominent was Ghiyath-al-Din Jamshid al-Kashi. Al-Kashi was a mathematical genius. He worked at the observatory and made significant contributions to mathematics. He's credited with the first systematic use of decimal fractions, a concept that fundamentally changed calculation and is essential to our daily lives today. Think about it. Every time you see a price with cents or measure something with a decimal point, you're using a system refined by the scholars of Samarkand. Al-Kashi also calculated the value of pi to 16 decimal places, a world record that stood for about 180 years. His work on trigonometry and solutions to algebraic equations was centuries ahead of its time. Alongside science and math, Samarkand was a profound center for Islamic learning and theology. The madrasas, or Islamic schools that surrounded the Registan Square, weren't just beautiful buildings. were prestigious universities. Ulugh Beg himself lectured at the madrasa that bears his name. Students from all over the Islamic world flocked to Samarkand to study not only theology, the Quran, and Islamic law, but also medicine, philosophy, history, and literature. These institutions preserved and expanded upon the knowledge of ancient civilizations, translating Greek, Indian, and Persian texts into Arabic. This act of preservation and synthesis was crucial. It ensured that the wisdom of antiquity was unlost and provided the intellectual fuel for the Renaissance in Europe. The scholars of Samarkand weren't just passively copying old texts. They were critically engaging with them, debating them, and building new theories upon them. The city's cultural life was just as vibrant. The air was filled with poetry and music. The Persian language, the language of poetry and high culture in the region, was spoken and written by the elite. Master calligraphers and miniaturist painters created breathtakingly beautiful manuscripts. The craftsmanship was legendary. Samarkand's artisans perfected the art of tilework, creating the intricate, mesmerizing mosaics of blues, greens, and golds that adorn its famous buildings. The city also became famous for producing a special kind of paper which was highly sought after across the world for its quality. This paper helped spread the knowledge created within the city's walls far and wide. So why did Samarkand's golden age eventually fade? The decline was gradual. After Ulugh Beg's death, political instability grew. New sea-based trade routes discovered by European explorers began to bypass the Silk Road, diminishing its importance and the wealth that flowed along it. The center of scientific gravity slowly shifted towards Europe. However, the legacy of Samarkand never truly vanished. The knowledge nurtured in its madrasas and observatory had already spread, planting seeds that would blossom into the scientific revolution. Its architectural wonders have survived the centuries, standing today as a powerful reminder of its glorious past. Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Samarkand continues to captivate travelers, scholars, and dreamers. Visiting Samarkand today is like walking through a living museum. When you stand in the middle of the Registan, surrounded by the three magnificent madrasas, can almost hear the echoes of the past, the discussions of philosophers, the calculations of astronomers, the recitations of poets. It's a city that tells a powerful story about the heights human civilization can reach when it embraces curiosity, diversity, and the pursuit of knowledge. Samarkand proves that for a brief, shining moment in history, a city in the heart of Asia was the intellectual capital of the world. It was a beacon of light, science, and culture, and its glow continues to inspire us to this day. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey to the Pearl of the East, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the amazing places and people that shaped our world. See you in the next video.